Morning. Welcome to Friday Mornings with Michael. It is for information and educational purposes only. It's your responsibility to do your own due diligence to do right for you. Word of the day is pied, having two or more different colors. The horse had a lovely pied coat, even though his mother's coat was a solid brown. Let's go to our S&P 500 heat map. Pullback in NVIDIA continues. Microsoft is hanging in there. They got a upgrade, price upgrade. Apple is bouncing back. And it looks like one of the cyber technology security stocks is bouncing today. Google is up slightly. Meta is pulling back a little bit. Amazon is up. Energy is kind of a mixed bag today. Financials are pulling back today. So a number of things that were up yesterday are pulling back. That is the story so far. If you're worried about a hard landing, big recession like in 2008, 2002, you might want to think about rolling over your hard-earned money that you spent a lifetime building up. You never lose money. The market goes up, you make money. Beats index investing by about 5% per year. If you want to find out more about this, check it out. Don't let your 401k turn into a 201k. So let's go to our charts. Here's Meta. Looks like it's forming a cup with a handle as it kind of drifts down to the 20-day moving average. Let us go to the dollar is gapping up today. It's up 0.17%. Silver is gapping down, kind of filling the gap from yesterday. Gold is doing about the same. Copper as well. All the metals are kind of diving today. So take a look at Arrow. Kind of diving, filling the gap as well. Look at our bond yields. Right about flat, right where it was yesterday. Not much movement there. And the 20-year is up slightly, 0.66%. Look at the VIX or volatility index. Got a little slow rotation in our internet today. It did spike up this morning. Yeah, got pretty close to our target. Hit the declining 10-day moving average and pulled back down. We just looked at the S&P 500 heat index, and the S&P is pulled back to its 10-day moving average and is bouncing a little bit. Got our equal weight. It's pretty flat, holding steady. NASDAQ, I would imagine, is pulling back a little bit, and then bounce up slightly. The equal weight in the NASDAQ, taking out the big cap tech stocks, is up 0.19%. It doesn't really take out the big cap, but it just equally weights everything. Dow Jones Industrials, slight pullback. Small cap IWM, pullback and is bouncing, so it's pretty flat for the day. And that is the story there. Let's go to our world news. Eurozone June flash composite PMI at 50.8 versus 52.2. This is manufacturing index. Eurozone flash services PMI 52.6 versus 53.2 in May. UK consumer confidence improved slightly in June as research group GfK's consumer confidence barometer climbed to a -14 in May. And Japan's overall consumer inflation grew at a faster pace in May and stayed well above the Bank of Japan's 2% target. Overall, consumer prices rose 2.8% from a year earlier in May. So that was compared to 2.5% in April. On to our sector news. Boyd Gaming has approached Penn Entertainment to express interest in acquiring its peer, a potential combination that would make a market value of more than $9 billion. So let's look. Penn, Boyd is up slightly, up 1.29%, and Penn is declining. And then we have a little, Boyd would also need to win over Walt Disney, which through its sports network, ESPN, has partnership with Penn. So Disney is kind of flat right at the 20-day moving average. On to Carlsberg. I'm not sure if this one will come up. Yeah, it's a UK stock, declined after soft drink maker Britvic rejected an improved offer that valued it at an equivalent of 3.9 million. Carlsberg has until July 19 to make a firm offer for Britvic or walk away. CarMax, Q1 net sales and operating revenue of 7.11 billion, 7.5% year-over-year decline, estimated at 7.2, tried to move higher and then has turned and dived. So Nike upgraded to outperform from perform at Oppenheimer and raised target from 110 to 120. Now it's trading up slightly, 0.66%. Smith & Wesson, Q4 adjusted EPS 45 cents versus 34 cents. Smith & Wesson is slow to come up, and it is diving nearly 12%. So I'm not sure if had sales of 159.1 million versus estimate of 156.8. So I guess people are looking for a bit more there. Boeing is nearing a deal to acquire Spirit Aerosystems after its former subsidiary made substantial progress in separate talks with Airbus over a transatlantic breakup. So Boeing is up slightly. Spirit Aerosystems is gapping up a little over 6% on that news. Copper prices slipped more than 1%, 9,715 a metric ton on the London Stock Exchange after 3 days of gains amid concern over surplus supplies and sluggish demand in top metals consumer China. So that's the news there. Delta Airlines raises quarterly dividend to 15 cents a share from 10 cents. Their stock is off 0.26%. On to financials. Lending Tree unit hacked, stolen data being offered on the dark web per Bloomberg noting. It's down 2.11%, and Snowflake had notified the company of the potential breach. Snowflake continues trending down to 1%. Down today. China is pushing for Visa and MasterCard to lower their bank card transaction fees in the country to encourage spending by foreign visitors. Visa is off 0.55%, and MasterCard is off slightly 0.36%. So that is a story there. Sarepta SRPT shares jumped over 30% after the FDA approved expanded indication for its Duchenne muscular dystrophy treatment of Elevidys. The drug was approved for ambulatory and non-ambulatory people ages 4 and above. So a huge gap up here, up 30, almost 36%. Ironwood Pharmaceuticals said Chief Financial Officer Saravan M&E will take on the role of Chief Operating Officer effective immediately. M&E 46 has served as the company's CFO since December, and it is up 5.2%. Can't really tell here with the EPS due in 41 days is popping up. So we'll just go look at the 1 minute bar, and then we can see the big move. And let's go to Outset Medical, upgraded, outperformed from sector performance, RBC Capital with a price of $6, up from $5, up about 14% this morning. Amazon considers $5 to $10 monthly fee for Alexa with revamped AI, Reuters reported. And Amazon bounced yesterday, so maybe there's a rumor about it yesterday, and it continues to move. It's working on the right side of a base here. Pull back to 73.87. Just put on the Darvis box here. Seems to be slow, but we can see a little box here. Breaks out of the box. 191.80 would be the buy point. And finally, Asana is bouncing, is up 5.2%, announces $150 million stock buyback. Firm's full year 25 revenue of $719 million to $724 million versus consensus to $723.2. So that is the story there. Now we can let's see if we can take a look at Bitcoin. It's showing a little bit of a troubling sign here. Thought it was going to bounce from 64,000 and has come down below that. It came down to 63,382. It just kind of keeps drifting lower. So all the whales, as they, so to speak, continue to sell into this stock or this Bitcoin. Seems like Ethereum seems to be holding up a little better. Let's see if we can bring up Ethereum here. Ethereum is slightly under 3,500, down $3.66. It came down to the low of 34.47. Let us now go back to our charts. What was up 5% on 100% increase in volume? Seems like there's a lot of biotech news or action. Carol, big jump yesterday, continues to jump today, up another 3.76%. Pretty good volume yesterday. We'll have to wait and see what it looks like today. NRIX Therapeutics, we did buy once we saw this move, and NRIX continues moving up. It had the treatment for CLL, and it is in the profit zone right now. So we'll have to take a look at that, see where we are with that. Up another 2% this morning. Billy was up yesterday, and it continues up, had a gap up yesterday. These moves, Chinese provider of high quality content for the web, and it is up a little over 5%. Costamati was up yesterday, continues to move, and it's definitely a breakout right over here. Up another 2.3%. 9%. Mirum Pharmaceuticals. Look at these moves. Pulled back. Had a big bounce yesterday and it's continuing its move today up another 2%. Novo Group is pulling back a little bit. I'm not sure if this thing had refreshed from yesterday, but because it looks like this is what we saw yesterday, we'll just refresh it and see what we got here. Got 8 items. Avity Biosciences. This almost looks like high tide flag. Big gap up. Here's kind of the flag portion, and it's moving up again, another 7% today. Ryan Specialty Holdings in the insurance area. Is gapping up. Had a nice move yesterday to get above moving averages. What's this? Like 4 days in a row, it's up over 7% today. Direct Therapeutics, we saw in the news. Spirit Aerosystems, we saw in the news as well. ComScore is moving on up. It's up a little over 8%. Anapsys Bio, we continue to see a lot of bio action. Got a lopsided cup with a handle, it looks like right here. It's moving on up. 2 days of pretty good volume. Arrowhead Pharmaceuticals. Yeah, there's just a ton of pharmaceutical biotech in this. It's up a little over 5% today. Volume isn't quite at average, but the price just keeps moving on up. And finally, Rocket Pharmaceuticals. Rocket finally comes up. I'm going to pull back down to 20, and it's up a little over 6% today. Let's see what we got up, moving up 10%, 200% increase in volume. We only got the Sarepta. So that it's kind of what we're looking at today. Let's go see where some of the action is in the markets. I'm going to just pause for 1 second here. So here's our financials. Financials were up yesterday, pulling back a little bit today. Energy pulling back as well. They got a big bounce yesterday. Gonna look at oil pricing, it's pulling back. Real estate, it's pretty steady. Utilities, pulling back a little bit as well. Infrastructure, down. Airlines are down a little bit. Let's take a look at, we didn't look at biotech yesterday. Got a nice bounce, gap up, and it's near the high today. The other one is gapping up. It's actually near its low, moving up 0.9%. Semiconductor index sold off and is bouncing off of its 10-day moving average. Leisure activity, pretty flat. Mining and metals sold off. Looks like it filled the gap over here and is bouncing back. Building materials, pretty flat as well. Right about where it was yesterday. And home builders, pretty flat as well. So we're just kind of looking here. The insurance area had a bounce yesterday and a little bit of a pullback. So that's kind of a look around the ETFs. We can look at FANG D. It's up another 0.4%, 0.32% right now. So we'll see how long this pullback lasts. We added to our MicroStrategy holdings, so we'll see if that was a smart idea with Bitcoin pulling back, but it's holding pretty much right where we added. We actually added at 1450 last night. Video pulled back and now is bouncing back. So we sold at 138. I'll just kind of see if it resets up again here. What we can do is back down. ARM pull back, but it's right about what we added to it. So that's holding in there. ELF Beauty, slight low pullback, but it's right in the buy zone. 4 systems pull back to the 20-day and is bouncing a little bit here. 4 and ELF, we'll be adding from our options to the actual stock after the close of today. We'll kind of look at Apple. Apple is getting a little bit of a bounce. We did add a covered call at 130 2 days ago. Kava Mediterranean Grill. Pull back to the 20-day and is bouncing. We did add the $100 covered calls on Kava. Just pull it up our little handset. We did close AV yesterday in order to have enough cash to buy ELF. Let's take a look at AV. I guess it was an opportune time to sell as we got further selling, pulls back into the buy zone. Also sold NetApp, which is bouncing a little bit today. Continued to hold Apollo Global Management. Dutch Brothers pulled back to his 20-day and now is bouncing. Proud. See with Palo Alto Networks bouncing. Didn't really help this, but it's pulling back a little over 2% right into the buy area. And lower falls a little bit more. Just have to kind of continue to monitor this. If this can hold this level, we'll hold it. If it doesn't, then we'll ditch that. So Weatherford, kind of hanging on there. We have the $130 covered call option on Weatherford. Initially bought it at 65, so we just continue to take care of that. Toast had a big bounce yesterday, is pulling back a little bit today. We have a $23 call on Toast. Take a look at the rest of the big cap tech. Google got a nice bounce today. We looked at Amazon earlier. Moving on up, Microsoft got a new price target based on their use of AI. It's moving on up. Tesla, it's pretty flat. I guess you could say that this is a flat base. Moved up here to 198.87, has pulled back, and is trading pretty tightly here. Tried to move up here, pulled back. Almost looks like a triangle formation. We'll just have to see which way it goes. Look at Meta. The other big one is Lilly, Eli Lilly. I think we got a little pullback. Yeah, and it bounced. It's pretty highs. Eli Lilly, after it completed, looks like a double bottom formation, cleared the 793.77, and it's just keeps on going. So that's our show for today. Happy Friday to everybody. Finish the day strong. Go out there and keep working on your goals and your activities. And we'll see you for the weekend update. In the meantime, if you have any questions about your financial goals or activities, feel free to reach out to us. And we hope you have a great finish to your week.